Howdy folks, Jamboree here. I've done videos on British cartoons from the 90s and the 2000s, but what about the UK TV animated series of today? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be exploring in this video. British cartoons from the 2010s and onwards. Octonauts. This CBeebies cartoon follows the nautical adventures of the Octonauts, a team of animals who research and protect sea life. In the age of Baby Shark, it's refreshing to come across a preschool cartoon that actually educates children about sea life. Like all great classic edutainment, the fun comes first, and the facts slide into the stories naturally. The action grabs kids' attention, then we'll get a cool factoid about an ocean creature or plant that happens to be relevant to the episode, and it's this info that often saves the day.
Here you go. I got the whale shark to say, ah.
I even saw an episode about sea pollution, and not once did I find it to be too preachy. In this story, a leaky pipe has caused an increase in algae, and so local animals are being made sick. But the real conflict actually comes from sea life stealing the octopod to escape to somewhere safer. The environmental message is just a bonus in this exciting chase.
But where did all that algae come from in the first place?
I wonder if the water's polluted.
Sometimes the education will even play into character development, like when the captain and lieutenant are having trouble working together as a team. Their mission coincidentally turns out to be about sea life symbiosis.
What?
Symbiosis. When two creatures live very close together because they need each other for different reasons.
So kids can learn about nature science and the merits of teamwork at the exact same time.
So, you're happy to be back together?
Yeah.
I didn't realise until now how much I need you.
And I didn't realize how much I need you.
The Octonauts themselves have very cute designs. They all look like plush teddies, the kind of toys that children see as their comfort blankets or best friends, making our stars immediately appealing to our young sensitive audiences. I really like that each Octonaut has something that sets them apart too. They're all different kinds of animals, with a slightly varied range of accents. Plus, each of them have a unique talent or skill that they specialise in. This all helps kids to decide which one is their favourite, as well as learn about the wide eclectic mix of marine science careers.
Avast! What are you putting on my ship?
Don't get your tail twisted, Quasi. This here is gonna keep the gubs from getting banged up all the time.
All the Octonauts are very sympathetic towards sea creatures too. Every episode, they demonstrate compassion and kindness to ocean animals in need, while they do their best to understand said animals' natural habits or customs.
Walruses say hello by blowing in each other's faces.
Blow back or they'll think you're being rude.
We can trust ourselves as heroes as conservationists, and they all make for great role models for children, especially any kids who dream of becoming marine biologists themselves.
Well, you're a renegade. You live your whole life finding a way around dark sea caves.
You got that right?
And you have an excellent sense of smell.
A lot of preschool shows tend to hold back their tension or conflict, in anxious fear of frightening toddlers too much. But kids love to be excited, and Octonauts isn't afraid to raise the stakes or address the dangers of the ocean. It does not over-romanticize this beautiful environment as perfect and safe, because the Octonauts can face life-threatening situations like bellies of sharks or strong storms.
Come on, Guppy! You can do it! Time for turbo power!
To conclude, I can't recommend Octonauts enough. It's solid morning TV entertainment that expertly blends exciting ocean adventure with insightful nature education. This show is so enlightening and engaging that even parents will be drawn into episodes, because it's basically David Attenborough meets Star Trek. The Amazing World of Gumball. This Cartoon Network series is all about the rascally Gumball, a boy who lives in the strange world of Elmore with his quirky family, the Watersons. One thing that makes this surreal cartoon so dang charming is Elmore itself. This city is like a modern suburban twist on Toontown from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It looks like your typical community, but every single citizen is some variation of animated archetype. No two families are the same, making for a richly diverse range of art styles and animation techniques, which, in turn, gives the show a very eclectic identity that helps it to stick out from other modern cartoons. Elmore always feels alive and inhabited, because wherever the Watersons go, there's always city folks just living their lives or going about their day. Heck, sometimes we'll even get a whole episode that's just about these eccentric extras. These specials further develop Elmore's world and its citizens' personalities. This show is so unpredictable with its creativity. You can never tune into an episode expecting a formula to play out, because the wild imagination of animation as a medium is in charge. And our artist canvas has no rules. The show fully embraces the rubbery physicality and artistic fluidity of animation's potential.
Come on, we're not gonna make it in time!
Gumball is also exceptionally funny as a comedy show. It makes me roar with laughter. So many gags get me to laugh until my stomach hurts, with every joke stemming from the creative freedom of the show and the snappy timing of the characters' banter.
Well, if that's the way it is, get ready for a taste of my bullfrog's harp!
It may be a Cartoon Network series aimed at kids, but its self-aware wit and visual slapstick are on par with sitcom classics for adults. Children will giggle at all the silliness, and grown-ups will appreciate the amazing writing.
Let's settle this in a civilized manner. Hi, my name is Gumball. Hi, my name is Cheese. Stop repeating everything I say!
While Elmore is a very US-inspired world, the humour is way more British than American. Keep in mind, it's a series made by British creators, so the scripts are dripping in our trademark dry sarcasm, insult humour, and zany surrealism. You can always tell that fans of Monty Python, The Young Ones, Bottom, and Blackadder are behind the writing. The characters are Americans who happen to be mouthpieces for British comedy writers. As zany and loony as Gumball is, there's still a heart to the show, a really big one. You can find real love everywhere in Elmore. For example, the Watersons may be a dysfunctional family with very obvious flaws, but they try to stick together as outcasts who struggle financially. They really capture the spirit of classic working-class sitcoms that lay the groundwork for comedies about families.
Now what? The fridge! What? There's nothing in there.
Exactly! Where's all the food?
Gumball, you're the one who wanted us to keep our dignity and not sell out. This is what happens when you can't buy things. You don't have things.
Then why'd you all listen to me?
There's also lots of wholesome romances too, which are just too precious for words. From the loving bond between Gumball and Penny, a relationship that inspires the immature Gumball to become his best self while growing up throughout the series.
Be yourself. Come out of your shell.
But maybe you wouldn't like the real me.
There's no way that could be true. Whatever is inside, we can deal with it together.
Together?
To the sweet and unlikely pairing of innocent shy Darwin and Carrie the spooky ghost.
Don't you know this park was built on an ancient burial ground?
Yeah, but if you think about it, the whole country is built on an ancient burial ground.
As well as the oddball marriage between Nicole and Richard Waterson, who came from over-controlling and judgy families, but feel like they can be themselves around each other.
Does it look better with the hat? I think it goes really well with my eyes. Come on, you.
The most exciting thing about this show, though, has to be the fact that the amazing world of Gumball knows that it's a cartoon. Yes, this show is extremely meta and self-aware. From the get-go, we already see signs that Elmore is a very strange place. And heck, the series premise itself is quite bizarre when you stop to think about it. There's this Twin Peaks / Matrix vibe to the community that hides ominously in the background of every wacky hijink of the week. So it's really fun seeing the show dig into the mystery of this world, explore the hidden secrets of Elmore, and consciously acknowledge its existence as a TV show on Cartoon Network.
I was just writing love stories about everyone in Elmore. I got a bit carried away.
But there's also this dark existentialism to the idea of living in a TV show, and what such a fabricated reality means for our characters. Interestingly, this daunting prospect was actually addressed in the season 6 finale, which brought all the build up to full circle.
Transformation is the only chance they have of escaping to the other place when this world...
However, this big twist actually aired all the way back in 2019. Yep, fans were given a cliffhanger that lasted for 5 years. And apparently only this year we will be getting to see what on earth has been going on. To conclude, the amazing world of Gumball is like if a team of animators took the word creativity from the dictionary and turned it into a kid's cartoon. It's a phenomenally inventive show that's layered with comedy gold, sweetheart, and thrilling cryptic mystery. This is peak British animation TV in my eyes. Peppa Pig. This preschool show follows the daily lives of Peppa Pig and her family. It's gained a lot of notoriety as one of the worst British cartoons ever made, even though it's exceptionally popular all around the world. While it did first start airing in 2005, I would say that Peppa Mania really hit mainstream in the 2010s, dividing everyone into the different camps of love it or hate it. So I watched 2 hours of Peppa Pig episodes and officially decided, yeah, it deserves its backlash.
Oh dear. George doesn't want to leave Mr. Bull.
We're going to the playground, George.
To be fair, most episodes I saw were of average quality. They were mainly mediocre because they often failed to find any actual plot. It was rare for a typical episode to get into a conflict, and you would be hard-pressed to find consequences to actions in this universe. This would be okay if each episode set out to be just a mundane slice-of-life tale, but they frequently bring up potential problems or character flaws that could become an obstacle in a story, or an opportunity for a lesson to teach to kids. However, said problem either vanishes away or solves itself by the end. Like, there's an episode where the new mole family are obsessed with digging, and don't listen to Daddy Pig about house structure rules. You would think that this would lead to the moles learning to not get carried away, but nope. The moles actually end up digging a hole into the neighbor's floor, and said neighbor acts like it's not a big deal. Then the episode just ends.
Molly Mole and Rebecca Rabbit are best friends.
This is really bad storytelling and not exactly the best message about responsibility. Heck, there's quite a few episodes that I saw that teach harmful or misguided lessons. One episode, Mr. Skinny Legs, has the kids finding a spider. Not only did the parents incorrectly teach Peppa and her brother George that all spiders are harmless.
There's no need to be afraid, Peppa. Spiders are very, very small, and they can't hurt you.
Which is a full-on dangerous lie that actually got the episode banned in Australia. But Mummy and Daddy also let the children play with the spider like it's a toy, something that impressionable kids shouldn't be taught is acceptable, because many insects are poisonous, and playing with bugs like their dollies borders on animal cruelty.
George is putting the spider to bed.
Night, night.
The parenting in this show really is worth harshly criticizing. In one infamously bad episode, The Quarrel, Peppa and her best friend Susie fall out after Peppa accuses Susie of cheating at Snap. How do Mummy and Daddy deal with this situation? Well, first, Mummy condescendingly mocks the fallout.
I'm sure they'll make it up. They are best friends, really.
It is not funny. We are not best friends anymore.
Neither Mummy or Daddy ask Peppa what caused the fallout in the first place, which could have helped them to better understand both sides and everyone's feelings. Instead, Mummy just makes Peppa apologize to Susie on the spot over the phone.
I'm sorry I said you cheated, even though you did cheat.
Thirdly, when Peppa and Susie finally get a moment to themselves to open up, talk about what happened, and apologize on their own accord, dumb Daddy Pig stomps in to ruin the moment, when he should be letting them have some space.
Ah, good. I see you two are friends again.
After Peppa and Susie make up in the end, they go back to arguing over cheating accusations all over again, because, you know, no adults actually bother to address the root of the fallout. One more thing I want to talk about, the art style. Folks, this is a tacky looking cartoon. Characters have off-putting designs with warped perspectives, backgrounds are uninspiringly bland and barren, and the limited PowerPoint animation is passable at best. Now, yes, I get that Peppa Pig's art is meant to look like it was drawn by real kids. That might be the intention, but there's no charm in the actual execution. It's a very corporate and hollow take on a child's way of drawing characters. A sterile approach that looks like the child was forced to draw these characters. Look at another CBeebies cartoon, Pablo, a show that goes for the same kind of art style, except these colourful characters look like they were designed by a kid who loves to draw. There's passion behind their scribbling, and actual charm and detail to their imperfections.
Catherine's skin has such a different texture. It's like there are waves in it, or tiny little hills.
I'm pretty sure that defenders of Peppa Pig want to point out that the target audience is preschoolers, so it doesn't need to be good quality. It can get away with being lazy, a sentiment that I have to strongly disagree with. Not only is that an insulting and patronizing attitude towards growing kids themselves, who do deserve good entertainment and valuable education, but it also ignores the fact that great preschool shows do exist out there, ones that try to do better than the bare minimum. Heck, many people have compared Peppa Pig to the far, far superior Bluey, an Australian cartoon about the Healer family. It has a unique angular art style, full of dynamic animation, with bold facial expressions that kids can immediately resonate with emotionally, treats children's feelings with respect and compassion.
Sometimes you play a bit too rough with me.
Oh, bingo, really? Oh, sorry, Buster. I didn't realise.
Teaches lessons with creativity, maturity, and an understanding of kids' minds.
Sometimes special people come into our lives, stay for a bit, and then they have to go.
But that's sad.
It is. But the bit where they were here was happy, wasn't it?
Gives us child characters that are realistically annoying, yet also adorably likeable.
That isn't a train ticket.
Huh?
It's a piece of poo!
What? Yeah.
And features fictional parents that are so wonderful that they inspire mums and dads everywhere to be better parents themselves.
Hi,
Hey, those dogs are back. Oh, they got food. Gimme, gimme. Nom, nom, nom.
So, no. Peppa Pig is not simply being the best that a preschool cartoon can be. It's capable of distracting kids for a little bit while their tired parents lie down, but that's all it really is. Easily digestible junk food. Hilder. Based on the graphic novels by Luke Pearson, Hilder is about a plucky little girl who lives with her mum in the mystical woods. But when a giant accidentally destroys their cabin, the two move to the city of Trollberg. While Hilder struggles to adapt to a new home, she makes friends with a boy called David and a girl named Frida. This trio of new pals spend each episode exploring their fantastical world, which is fraught with danger, but also full of exciting, mysterious secrets. A major charm to Hilder has to be its title character, the star of the show. Hilder breaks gender stereotypes as an adventurous little girl who loves getting muddy and exploring. She's an adrenaline junkie with a love of action.
Step aside, ladies. I've got this.
And a wilderness enthusiast with curiosity and passion for wildlife.
Trolls don't usually come this far down the mountain. I've got to draw this. Pretty sure that's a nose.
One thing I love about this show is how every creature she encounters tells a unique story, and their behaviour or intentions aren't always black and white. These mythical beings and animals are capable of threat, but most of them are just trying to survive. Like, folks see giants as destructive monsters, when really they're just so huge that they don't notice what's below them, which isn't too different to the way that we go about our day while accidentally stepping on bugs.
They haven't even noticed what they've done.
There's an eclectic variety to the kinds of legends that Hilder and friends meet. Some are loosely based on European myths that are unique to certain cultures, and others are original creations that show a high sense of imagination. I was especially intrigued by the characters based on Bavarian and Scandinavian folklore that I had personally never even heard of before, because these are parts of European mythology that deserve a spotlight in fairy tale animation. And I'm sure their respective cultures would appreciate the references, as distorted as Hilder makes them sometimes.
Sorry. You're in this set, aren't you?
Yeah, I think you're thinking of someone else.
But Hilder is also about the bond between a mother and daughter. Hilder and Joanna have always only had each other, so they're very, very close. However, they're just like any other family and face the same kinds of struggles. Neither mother or daughter are portrayed as perfect saints, but I also wouldn't call either of them problematic. They're just people of different generations trying to get by in a new home.
You're always saying how you can make friends with elves, trolls, and giants. Compared to that, talking to some kids should be easy.
Some of my favourite episodes are when we see Joanna's human side as a mum, and how she's simply doing the best she can as a parent. It's a refreshingly realistic perspective on cartoon parenting.
Am I doing the right thing? This isn't the sort of mum I wanted to be, but what am I supposed to do?
I also adore how Joanna's heart is so big that she's happy to welcome Hilder's fantasy friends into a small family. It's a very wholesome take on non-conforming family structure that shows how open-minded and loving Joanna is as a mother. I mean, she has to be when her kid is as quirky as Hilder.
Look, I'm sorry that I pressured you about getting badges. I already know that you're the kindest, bravest, most selfless girl it is possible to be.
Season 2 mixes things up by introducing a villain into Hilder's sagas, the arrogant and vain safety patrol officer, Eric Olberg, an authority official who acts like he cares about protecting Trollberg, but is actually a fame opportunist who is obsessed with projecting a hero image.
It's one thing to take a stand, but if you want to make history, then you have to make it happen. And that's what I intend to do.
There are many serious threats on Hilder's adventures, but I still hated and despised Eric more than all of them. I wanted this asshat to lose his job with a passion. When a villain is this fun to hate, you know that a cartoon has hit all of the right notes.
I don't want to be on the evening news. We won't do it.
All you have to do is look grateful and pathetic. It'll be fun.
So, I will confess that after finishing seasons 1 and 2, I saw Hilder as a 4-star show. A very good series with many praiseworthy aspects, and potential rewatchability in the future, but not exactly one of my top favourite cartoons ever. Then, Season 3 aired, and my opinion dramatically altered. Without giving away any big spoilers to people that want to see this show, Season 3 of Hilder is a banger of a finale that offers sweet cottagecore slice of life that's perfect to relax over.
Can I tempt anyone to dessert?
I couldn't.
Yes, please.
Oh, all right, maybe just a bit.
Mixed with Lovecraftian horror full of genuine scares.
Actually, I demand it.
Your request is denied.
It's a season that elevates Hilder into something outstanding, with jaw-dropping twists that complete the full picture, a gripping, ambiguous mystery that's super exciting to uncover bit by bit, and creature encounters that had me so terrified and engaged that I couldn't take my eyes off the screen, lost control of my breath, and felt tense goosebumps.
Don't let go of me, Mum!
Oh, and this season also stays 100% true and faithful to the show's themes of family love and humanity's complex relationship with nature. It never lets go of what drew fans into the series in the first place. I would actually encourage everyone to watch Hilder just to experience Season 3, because it's some of the most compelling and amazing animated television I've ever seen. Back in the day, Thomas and friends told its railway stories through animatronic models. But once Season 12 rolled around, the show changed things up by giving the iconic locomotive CGI faces, which officially made the show into sort of a semi-cartoon. So I spent a week watching every Thomas episode up to Season 12 to see what I thought of the show once it went CGI. Well, honestly, I've now come to appreciate the old models, because this CGI is actually kind of a step down to me. It's a style that slides into a slightly uncomfortable uncanniness that makes everyone look like their souls trapped inside of engines.
Edward the Steady is at the ready.
Weird enough, these CGI faces are more robotic and stiff than the models. When you look at the expressions that the models pulled, you could instantly read the character's emotions. When a character is mad, they look truly angry. When a character was sad, you could see their heartbreak. They were faces that were rich with illustration.
Well, Duck, I'd rather have my wheels on solid ground. Our rails can take us to all the places we could ever wish to see.
Sure, the sets are still handmade, but that's also a problem, because the animated characters look really jarring against their backdrops. Blending two mediums can be hard to pull off on a children's television budget. Apparently Season 13 dropped the live action elements altogether. So Season 12 was actually the very last time we could appreciate the tangible charms of the show's physical sets and models. I did also notice that Michael Vangelis' narration wasn't as enthusiastic as it used to be this season. I don't know if this was down to him getting older or losing the passion for his job, but you can really tell the difference between how he sounded when he was first hired.
It was a cold winter's morning on the island of Sodor. The wind was bitter and the ground hard with frost. Thomas and Percy were cold and cross.
And his narration quality in Season 12.
Thomas collected the engineer from Gordon and took him to fix Toby.
Everything seems a lot safer in Season 12 too. Classic Thomas and Friends episodes were often surprisingly dark, mature and ambitious. They were like little 5-minute movies that weren't afraid to engage kids with serious tension. Season 12 showed a shift in storytelling, with far less focus on miniature action or scary high stakes. Most Season 12 episodes follow very run-of-the-mill hijink of the day stories, sticking to tales that are very unchallenging for kids.
And the balloon floated away. Hooray!
However, let's be fair, there were things about Season 12 that I did kind of like. While I do miss the darker elements of this show, I also appreciate that Season 12 dropped the threat of scrapping engines. This was an aspect of the series that was kind of depressing and never sat right with me.
But what are you doing? Escaping? From what? Scrap?
So I'm glad that died out by this season. I also loved how this season explored lost relics of Sodor, because they helped develop Thomas's world by giving history to the railway's lore, from a rusty sign that happens to feature Toby on it.
Now that's special. And Toby couldn't have felt happier to be a steam tram.
To a forgotten statue dedicated to a locomotive hero of the island. I do hope that the series kept this kind of world building up after season 12.
Everyone gasped at the wonderful statue.
Overall, I'm mixed on season 12 of Thomas and Friends. I can see why superfans resent the CGI update, but this Thomas era wasn't without its positives to me. The classic model series is still the superior version though. Now, I do know that Thomas got an animated modern reboot called All Engines Go, a very divisive series for the Thomas fanbase. But I'm afraid that I didn't get time to watch it for this video. Sorry folks. If you enjoyed this video, then you should also check out my videos on British 90s cartoons and 2000s cartoons. I've been Jamboree, cheerio folks.